Hi, I'm Jay Miller, and I am a keynote speaker at PyCon US 2024. I fully believe I owe my entire tech career to the Python community. I started almost 10 years ago at this point, and I just started going to meetups at San Diego Python. And when I was doing that, I met so many amazing people that I would become, long-lasting friends with. And at the time, I wasn't a developer. I was just someone who wanted to use Python to maybe automate myself out of a job. And I think those same friends saw that and really encouraged me to use some of the skills that I had gained being a military veteran, being in marketing, being in IT, and move into developer advocacy. And when I did finally make the leap, they really encouraged me. And they also, called their friends and called companies on my behalf to see who was hiring and gave me a bunch of introductions into the tech industry that I didn't have on my own. Last year at PyCon, actually at PyCon 2023, we started this community called Black Python Devs. And it was a way for Black Pythonistas all around the world to have a sense of community and togetherness and support, kind of those things that, I hope that, I get from the greater community, but things are a little bit different when you're all of these things, a Pythonista, a person in tech and all these things. And then you have that one big thing of like, yeah, but I'm also Black. And there comes a lot of things associated with that. It's great to have a community that, while that is kind of the unifying factor, it's not the big issue in the room. It's not and everyone in the community is sharing their knowledge. They're not sharing necessarily their experience of being a Black Pythonista. It's kind of evolved. I didn't expect it to be what it is today. While we're recording this, we just hit 300 members worldwide. We're helping get people tickets to conferences. We're, partnering with businesses and doing different learning programs to help, create the next generation of Python developers and extend the current generation of Python developers. And I just kind of wanted a cool Discord to hang out in, and now we've got this amazing thing that came out of that. So a lot of my talk is going to be dialing into what were the decisions that were made to kind of take it from really cool Discord to what it is today. One of the most meaningful, moments that really impacted me was right after we started Black Python Devs, and we were at DjangoCon US, and we have this moment where there's so many folks from different countries all around the world that we're sitting at a lunch table, during the lunch break, and we're just sharing, our experiences. And we did something similar at PyCon US last year, and there were like 30 of us in this room and only like 3 or 4 people up, and everyone was like looking at those individuals. But this felt different because we were all here for the same reasons, and we all, our reasons might look slightly different, but ultimately at the end of the day, we all wanted to feel a part of the community. And I think that was just a really cool moment to see people from Ghana and from Kenya and from Tanzania and from Zimbabwe, and I mean other countries too, sitting in Durham, North Carolina, of all places in America. You'd think like New York or San Francisco or somewhere, but like, no, Durham, North Carolina. And everyone just saying that desire for community is there, and we all want it. We're all looking for it. So I promise I'm not a big movie person, but there's a scene from what is it, the Princess Diaries, where the main character just goes, "Shut up," like in pure amazement. And like that's exactly how I I had never been selected to speak at PyCon, and then meanwhile I get an email saying, "Hey, we want you to, give, a keynote." So it was one of these moments where, my running joke after that was like, just keep submitting and eventually they'll get tired of you submitting and they'll just ask you to speak. But, I knew that this was something that I wanted to do since I'd gotten into the Python community. I thought it would be cool. I've watched so many videos. I mean, I learned Python watching conference talks from PyCon US. So to be on that main stage, the same stage that's been shared by so many amazing people that I look up to, uh, I I didn't know if it was ever going to happen, and when it did happen, I don't know if I was mentally prepared for it at the time, but here we are, and now that I've sat with it a little bit longer, I'm like, I'm just really excited. I think I'm super excited, and I've had such a warm feedback from people in the community that are excited for me. Whether it's sending a message of encouragement on LinkedIn. I think I had people who were mentoring me on the CFP process, asking me like, "Hey, is your talk about this one that we were working on?" Like just super excited to just see they knew the hard work that had been put into a lot of the stuff that I was doing, and I think they were just excited to see it come to fruition. There's several talks that I'm interested in, and I am one who is usually, just because of my job, I'm in the expo hall almost the entire conference, and this is really the first year that I've been at PyCon US where I think I'll still be in the expo hall a lot. Who are we kidding? But I will probably leave the expo hall a little bit more than I usually do and check out some talks. Um, I think a lot of the talks around environments and development. I know that there's some new packaging stuff that's really really cool that I think folks want to talk about, and even if they're not actual talks, I think the thing I'm most excited about is the open spaces. I've really come to love the open spaces. I think I'm going to be going to a fountain pen open space while I'm there, but uh, Black Python devs, well, before Black Python devs, we did like a Black Python devs open space that was really, really small. And then we had one last year that was much larger. And I'm just excited for what this year, we're actually putting a little bit of structure and planning around it. I know you're not supposed to do too much planning around an open space, but I'm really excited to see that because, my like banner photo on like LinkedIn and Twitter and some of these other places are literally this picture of so many like developers of color and from Africa and South America, and it's like we get to hang out with each other again. We get to see each other, we get to have fun, and it's a party. It's definitely not a tech talk. It's definitely not your quiet session. There's music playing, people are dancing, like it is an absolute blast. So I think that's the one thing I'm looking forward to the most. But there are definitely a few talks around like packaging and environments that I'm looking forward to as well. I think if it's your first PyCon US, pace yourself. This is the largest gathering of Python developers on the planet. Everybody's going to be really, really excited to talk about all the things that they're doing. There's going to be dinners happening left and right. You're going to be finding people outside of the conference. You're going to have people that, you're going to bump into a couple of times. You'll see in a couple of talks, and you really want to sit down and talk with them. You can do all of those things. You probably can't do all of those things. The reality is, in the 3 to 6 days that you'll be there, you will be exhausted. Um, the one thing I would recommend is say, have one of those days where you just kind of take it easy. Take one or two talks, go relax in the hallway track, and really just check your personal, audience and crowd batteries. And if those social batteries are a little low, don't worry. You will always be able to catch these talks later. Hopefully you will have so much fun at PyCon US that you will come back next year as well, and hopefully most of those people will also be there next year. And then the other advice that I would give is, during lunch, find a table that you don't know anyone at, and sit at that table and meet people. I think that's been one of the the most fun experiences that I've had at PyCon is just going to a random table, asking if I can sit down, introducing myself, and then just making friends that I've kept up with for several years now because of, hey, can I sit down? And it was that easy. So I think those are the two big things. Pace yourself, have fun, have a great time, but don't necessarily, go too hard. Drink lots of water. Stay hydrated. People forget to hydrate while they're at these conferences. You're doing a lot, but then try to create situations to where you don't know anybody around you, and it's a great opportunity to meet someone new. Thank you so much again, PSF, for letting me give this talk. I hope, everyone watching this, I hope that you'll check it out, enjoy it, and hopefully you'll catch me in the hallway track, and I'd love to sit down and chat with you.